What if I told you that one of the most talked about basketball stars in the world today has a secret that completely flips expectations? You've probably heard her name, Caitlin Clark, the powerhouse from the Iowa Hawkeyes. She's breaking records, stunning fans, and redefining what it means to dominate on the court. But here's the twist, there's something about her that catches everyone off guard. It's not her skill, her stats, or even her fearless mindset, it's her size. Yes, Caitlin Clark's size is the last thing you'd expect for someone who's become a living highlight reel in women's college basketball. Here's where it gets even more interesting. While most players rely on towering heights and brute strength, Caitlin uses her unique size in a way that's turned her into a complete nightmare for defenders. How? That's what we're about to reveal. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see why Caitlin Clark's size doesn't just set her apart, it makes her unstoppable. Stick with me, because there's a moment in this story that's going to leave you speechless, and you won't want to miss it. Now, let me warn you, the way Caitlin plays, moves, and dominates the court will challenge every stereotype you've ever had about basketball. If you think you already know what makes her great, think again. In fact, we'll be covering something in the final section of this video that most people completely overlook, yet it's the secret weapon behind her greatness. So stay until the end, you'll be glad you did. Let's start by taking a closer look at who Caitlin Clark is and why her rise to basketball stardom is unlike anything we've seen before. Caitlin Clark isn't just another college basketball player. She's the player. When her name comes up, you'll hear words like unstoppable, genius, and dominant. But here's the kicker, her rise to the top hasn't been about fitting the mold. In fact, it's been about breaking it. In a sport where players are often defined by their physical size, Caitlin Clark stands out for how she defies expectations. At 6 feet tall, she's not the tallest player on the court, not even close. And yet, she plays as if every inch of her frame is custom-built for greatness. From the second she steps onto the hardwood, she commands attention, not because she's towering over everyone else, but because she plays smarter, faster, and sharper than anyone around her. You'd expect someone her size to struggle against bigger, stronger opponents, right? That's the assumption. But Caitlin Clark doesn't just compete with them, she owns them. Her secret? She's redefined how size works in basketball. While others might use their height or muscle to dominate, Caitlin uses something far more dangerous, precision and skill. Her ability to read the game, anticipate her opponent's moves, and react in real time is second to none. What's even more impressive is how she's managed to weaponize her size. Her quickness allows her to weave through defenders who are often slower and less agile. Her shooting range is so ridiculous that she doesn't even need to get close to the basket to score. We're talking three-pointers so deep they leave fans and defenders stunned. And let's not forget her ball handling skills, smooth, controlled, and nearly impossible to defend. It's like she's moving on a completely different frequency from everyone else on the court. But this isn't just about her physical talent. Caitlin's approach to the game is what truly sets her apart. She doesn't need to rely on brute force. She outthinks her opponents at every turn. Where they see a crowded defense, she sees an opening. Where they hesitate, she attacks. Her basketball IQ is her real superpower, and it's something that can't be measured in inches or pounds. The more you watch Caitlin Clark, the more you realize how much she's changed the narrative about what it takes to be the best. She's proof that size is only part of the equation, and it's how you use what you have that matters most. But here's the real twist. Caitlin wasn't always seen as the powerhouse she is today. In fact, her size used to be one of the reasons people doubted her. What changed? That's where her story becomes even more compelling, and we'll get into it next. Caitlin Clark's journey to basketball stardom is filled with moments where doubt turned into dominance. Early in her career, many people underestimated her. They looked at her size and assumed she wouldn't be able to keep up with the intense, physical style of top-tier college basketball. But Caitlin had something most players don't, an unshakable belief in herself, and a relentless drive to prove everyone wrong. When she first began playing at a high level, some skeptics thought she might fade against bigger and more physically imposing opponents. But Caitlin never let those perceptions define her. Instead, she used them as fuel. Every game became an opportunity to show that skill, strategy, and mental toughness can outmatch pure size and strength. She didn't just play, she outworked, outthought, and outmaneuvered opponents who should have had a physical advantage. Her training routine is legendary. She's known for putting in hours of practice, perfecting not only her shot, but also her footwork and decision-making. This dedication is what transformed her from an underestimated prospect into a powerhouse. It's not uncommon for Caitlin to spend entire practice sessions working on shots from far beyond the three-point line shots that most players wouldn't even think of taking in a game. By the time she's on the court, Those deep shots aren't just possible. They're part of her everyday arsenal. What makes Caitlin truly special is how she adapts. When bigger defenders try to use their size against her, she counters with speed and precision. She moves so quickly and decisively that defenders often struggle just to keep up. Her ability to change direction at full speed and seamlessly shift between shooting, passing, and dribbling has left many of her opponents frustrated and overwhelmed. And let's talk about pressure situations, the moments when games are on the line and the whole world is watching. This is where Caitlin Clark shines brightest. She has a knack for hitting clutch shots when her team needs them most. The bigger the moment, the bigger her impact. It's as if doubt and adversity feed her competitive spirit. When others might falter under the pressure, Caitlin rises. By turning doubt into dominance, Caitlin Clark has changed the narrative around size in basketball. She's shown that when you pair exceptional skill with the right mindset, you can overcome any physical disadvantage. But what makes this transformation even more impressive is how Caitlin has inspired an entire generation of players who may have once believed they didn't fit the mold of a typical star. But Caitlin's story isn't just about overcoming doubts. It's also about how she continually evolves and uses every experience as a lesson. Up next, we'll break down how she uses her intelligence and instinct to outthink opponents no matter their size. This is where her real genius comes to life. Caitlin Clark doesn't just play basketball, she outsmarts it. Her greatest strength isn't something you can measure in inches, pounds, or even stats. It's her mind. Caitlin's basketball IQ is off the charts, and it's what allows her to dominate players who are physically bigger and stronger than she is. Let's start with her court vision. Caitlin sees things before they happen. When she has the ball, it's like she's operating in slow motion, dissecting every move her defenders make. Whether it's spotting a teammate, cutting to the basket, or finding an open lane to drive, Caitlin always seems to be one step ahead. Opponents know what's coming, but they can't stop it. Her decision-making is just as impressive. Caitlin knows when to push the pace and when to slow things down. She can orchestrate an offense with the precision of a chess master, creating opportunities that seem impossible. This is why she racks up assists almost as easily as points. It's not just about scoring, it's about controlling the game. And Caitlin does that better than anyone else. Her understanding of angles and spacing is another key advantage. When bigger players try to box her out or block her shots, Caitlin adjusts. She knows exactly how to position her body to create separation, no matter the defender's size. Her footwork is so sharp and calculated that she can pivot out of tight spaces or pull up for a clean shot in the blink of an eye. But what really sets Caitlin apart is her ability to adapt. Defenses have thrown everything at her: double teams, traps, physical play, and yet she finds a way to break through. If they sag off, she'll hit a deep three-pointer without hesitation. If they pressure her, she'll use her quickness to blow past them. Caitlin is a master of reading the defense and reacting in real time. And let's not forget her ability to create her own shot. At her size, you'd think she'd have trouble scoring against taller defenders, but Caitlin's creativity makes her unstoppable. Her step-back jumper is practically unguardable, and her range is unlimited. She's comfortable taking shots from distances that most players wouldn't even consider. This combination of intelligence, creativity, and skill makes Caitlin Clark one of the most dangerous players on the court. She's not just competing with the opposition, she's outthinking them at every turn. But Caitlin's brilliance isn't just physical or tactical. There's something deeper driving her success, and it's the mental strength that separates her from everyone else. That's what we'll talk about next, the mindset that turns Caitlin into a relentless force, no matter the odds. Trust me, this is the heart of her greatness. If there's one thing that truly defines Caitlin Clark, it's her mindset. Her success isn't just about talent or skill, it's about the mental toughness that allows her to thrive in moments when most players would crumble. This is what makes her story so powerful. Basketball is as much a mental game as it is a physical one, and Caitlin has mastered both. She doesn't just show up to play, she steps onto the court with the confidence and determination of someone who knows they belong at the top. Even when the odds are stacked against her, Caitlin refuses to back down. It's not arrogance, it's belief. A belief in her abilities, her preparation, and her purpose. This mental edge is most visible in pressure situations. When the game is on the line, Caitlin Clark doesn't hesitate. She wants the ball in her hands. She thrives in those make-or-break moments, hitting clutch shots that leave fans cheering and opponents stunned. It's not just about skill, it's about having the nerve to take the big shot and the confidence to make it. But Caitlin's mindset goes beyond the game itself. She's laser-focused on growth, always looking for ways to improve. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every challenge becomes an opportunity. Instead of letting criticism or doubt affect her, Caitlin uses it as motivation. It's this relentless drive to be better, to push boundaries and shatter expectations, that separates her from everyone else. And then there's her passion. Caitlin plays with a fire that's impossible to ignore. You see it in every dribble, every pass, and every shot. It's the kind of passion that inspires others, from her teammates to her fans. She's not just playing for herself, she's playing for something bigger, for the love of the game and for everyone who's ever been told they don't fit the mold. This is why Caitlin Clark is so much more than a basketball star. She's a symbol of what's possible when talent meets hard work, determination, and heart. Her mindset has allowed her to overcome every obstacle, silence every doubter, and redefine what it means to be great. And here's the best part: Caitlin isn't done. She's still writing her story, and it's one that will inspire countless others for years to come. So if you've ever doubted yourself, if you've ever been told you're not big enough, strong enough, or good enough, just remember Caitlin Clark. She's proof that success isn't about fitting the mold, it's about breaking it. Now, here's something to think about. How do you define greatness? Is it about the physical stats, or is it about the heart and drive that can't be measured? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if Caitlin Clark's story has inspired you as much as it has inspired us, pass this video along to someone who needs a reminder of what's possible when you believe in yourself. You never know who might be the next Caitlin Clark.